Well, we have the man, the myth, the legend joining us in studio right now.
Really?
It's fresh off of the coffee.
Thank you very much.
For Roske on the politics here this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I got like the concert voice, you know.
Because you've been nonstop, man.
It's been a busy week. If this was a newspaper article, it would be called "In Defense of the Iowa Caucuses." We're going to talk about the positive things that happened this last week, because what happens inevitably, all the media and the folks that think they have permission get to start punching the caucuses in the face, and we don't like that.
It happens every time.
Yeah, but I think unfounded. I am a fan of the Iowa caucuses. I think it's the last bastion of pure American democracy that we still have going. That in New Hampshire, I think you could argue that as well. So to argue this point, the pro-caucus stance. Let's first take a look at the chairman of the Iowa GOP, Jeff Kaufman, been on this program
on the show.
Several times. He and I spoke at the Fox debate last week here in Des Moines about the caucuses that were just about to happen. Let's take a look.
Don't count out those other candidates, though. First of all, we got more than one ticket out of this state. Third place is going to be very important. If you're in 11th place right now and you make a jump to 5th place, you've got momentum. I think almost more important than who gets first is the fact of momentum, and do you have the momentum? We are not supposed to pick the eventual nominee of the party. Iowa was never supposed to do that. We're supposed to begin with an even playing field, media markets that are reasonably priced, and a neutral playing field where somebody like me is welcoming all of these candidates. I don't think, in some ways, Iowa's role matters if we pick the eventual nominee as much as we have given the United States a chance to look at all of these candidates. So I'm less concerned who wins a nail biter than every single one of these candidates leave here believing that they've been treated fairly, and the rest of the country saying, thanks, Iowa, you did a good job of letting them strut their stuff.
And finally, you've been involved in Iowa politics for a long time. It seems like the anti-Iowa caucus vitriol was pretty strong that I saw it this year. Was it stronger, or is it always the way it is? And is any of that criticism merited? And what could Iowans improve upon?
Every 4 years, somebody wants what we've got. And as soon as we explain that there's 1,681 precincts, the Secretary of State doesn't run our caucuses tomorrow. Volunteers do. The taxpayers of Iowa do not pay for these elections tomorrow. The parties do.
I didn't know that.
No, we are altogether different than a primary. In a primary in New Hampshire, the New Hampshire taxpayers pay for that election, and the Secretary of State for New Hampshire runs that election. We run everything with volunteers. I mean, we've got close to $1 million invested in this. Plus, everybody is expecting, and rightly so, world-class results working with an all-volunteer force.
Wow.
There's a lot of states that like the idea of being first in the nation. Be careful what you ask for, because I mean, this is a difficult thing. What could Iowans do better? Show up. Yeah. Show up at the polls tomorrow. I don't begrudge any of the states for questioning us. We deserve to be scrutinized. I don't think the scrutiny is any worse than it's ever been. I do believe, though, that on Monday, I think we're going to show the nation once again that Iowa is good at what we do. We're humble, and we appreciate the opportunity, and we will give the country exactly what they want, and that is an equal playing field to start this whole process.
It's always a pleasure to talk to Jeff Kaufman, the chairman of the Iowa Republicans. So also, you folks were at the screening. Tom Harkin, former Senator Tom Harkin, talked about the caucuses, saying it's an open process. In fact, you can see who is voting, especially on the Democrat side. Republican, it's very simple. You write a thing. So I know there's been a little bit more hubbub about the coin tosses. And what does that really mean? Who brought the coins and all that sort of thing? For the first couple days, it was Hillary won all the coin tosses. Now we're hearing that Sanders won some. I wanted to show you guys something. I dug around and I found this on the internet. This is an actual coin toss from a caucus, and I think this is where the rubber meets the road. To me, it's a fascinating clip. Let's take a look.
Take a look at it.
Because this, I'm going to film it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. My name is Mitch Thompson. I am the precinct chairman of Hardin Township in Johnson County, Iowa. We are vying for one delegate, and we have a tie at 29 and 29. We cannot resolve the vote. 30 is the viability number for the single delegate. So at this point, I will ask Senator Kevin Kenney to flip the coin. The please come observe. The front of the coin is Father of our country, George Washington. The back is the schoolhouse, which is the coin from the state of Iowa. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Eric Johnson, the Senator Sanders Precinct Chair, Captain.
Julie Brerecht. I'm Precinct Captain for Hillary Clinton.
All right. And we have the coin. And do you mind if ladies call it?
No.
All right.
Doesn't matter. 50-50.
Folks, we are about to flip the coin. The precinct chair or the captain for Hillary will call it in the air. Heads is George Washington. Tails is the little schoolhouse for the state coin of Iowa. Call it in the air.
No. Okay.
Heads.
It is tails. The tie has been broken by coin flip and will go to Bernie Sanders for the delegate. Thank you very much. It's the only way we could figure out how to do it.
That is the beauty. It's
Yep.
the beauty of this process at the end of the day.
So heads was Hillary and tails was Sanders. Is that what it was?
Is this the beauty, or is this what?
I think it's.
or what people make fun of us in
How,
the state
how,
of
how
Iowa?
else can it be more honest and more real? I mean, if you've got an equal number of people, there has to be a decider. Actually, one of Tamara Harrison's father won an election for a city job a couple years ago by a coin toss and made national news.
All right, we have another clip too.
Well, we have one more clip here. Yeah, we're going to show. Actually, you know what? We'll save that because you know what? I want to point out because it was historically the closest Democrat result. The fact is, a win is a win, and you can look at this race two different ways. You can look at delegate count, which is virtually a tie, but as far as the way it is tabulated, Senator Sanders was on my show 6 months ago. We filmed at his office, and when he won his mayoral race in Burlington Township, he won by 10 votes, and he said a win is a win. So, but I do think with it being this close, it's not going away. I've been told by a couple different people that both campaigns are looking at the numbers to see if going through every line. There was a delay in the app. I spoke to a precinct captain at 2:30 that morning, and she said they sat down and they punched in the numbers on the app, and then she got a call an hour and a half later. She was at dinner saying, "We don't have your numbers." She goes, "Well, we did it." They went back to the app. The app said, "You've turned in your numbers." She called. They said, "We have your numbers. You're fine." It wasn't until the next morning she got to look it up. Yes, the numbers that they punched in were correct against the app. So that confusion, Jason Dick with Roll Call, senior writer with Roll Call, was in town, and he and I broke some news that night in that gap with one of the folks from the Sanders team. But now we know that the results have turned out the way they were supposed to. Today at noon, real quick, I'll be at Sirius POTUS channel with Ted Johnson from Pop Politics, and then Sunday's episode, the whole thing, Jason and I from Roll Call, we co-hosted at the airport. We talked to people the morning after the caucuses.
As they're leaving.
Including
cool.
the actor who played PETA on the Hunger Games, who he was here supporting. So fun episode Sunday, but I'm going to go get some rest and just the beginning. More of this to come. This is not the end of Roske on Politics. It's only the beginning.
All right, speaking of Roske on Politics, real quick before we go, very cool you having Bernie Sanders on at length Sunday before caucus home run out of you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks to this studio. We filmed it right here. You guys are a great partner. Thank you.